Welcome to my channel. This is Divested Diamonds. You have arrived. Hello, ladies. Please do me a favor and click the like button as you watch this video. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Okay, so this topic might be triggering for some of you. Now, if you are of a sensitive nature and don't wish to listen to truth and facts, please exit this video now. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Thank you. At this point, majority of you should understand what my channel is about. Now, we speak truth here, regardless to whom it's regarding. And if you're going to be offended by anything that I have to say, please be advised that I don't care. If you are someone who's out there behaving in a way that's detrimental to the well-being of other women, Black women especially, because we're the most unprotected and disrespected, right? You will be exposed because we're tired of other people's BS. We're tired of always having to defend ourselves rather than concentrating on living life. Life without drama. And it doesn't matter whether someone is divested or not. Black women are targeted regardless of circumstance. See, everybody understands at this point that we all have to live in this world with other people, which means there will be times when others will do certain things that put Black women to the test, just to see how low we're willing to go. Even when we're out there minding our own business, there are people, men and women of other communities, who feel the need to poke fun at Black women for sport. It's not okay. So most of you, I'm sure, have heard the story of this 22-year-old from the University of Kentucky who went on a tirade while calling this young Black woman the N-word repeatedly, right? Now, I wish I could say that I was surprised, but I'm not. This crap happens more often than reported. Thank goodness for technology. Everyone can now record these atrocities and expose the bigotry displayed by a lot of these ignorant people. Sophia Rosing, 22, was arrested on Sunday, November 6th at 4 a.m. at the University of Kentucky on public intoxication, assault, and disorderly conduct. She had been seen stumbling into the dorms on campus in Lexington, Kentucky, before launching herself at fellow student Kyla Spring, who was working the front desk. Let's take a look.
No, that was an hour. Yes. I hope. Could you stop, please? No. Could you stop? No. Thank you. I'm thinking also. Oh, geez. I did not get paid enough for this. Exactly. Yeah.
Phone video.
Me too.
I got the phone.
Now, I know the video was annoying with all the bleeps, but to put things into context, every single time that happened, the N-word was used. That is how much love and respect that this woman has for Black women. And shout out to FeistyBlaq, Pretty Black Magic, for posting the unedited version of this video. I hope I can still find it on her channel. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave the link to that video and her channel in the description bar below. And I just want to say, welcome back to Pretty Black Magic. Please keep dropping that unfiltered truth. So continuing on, as you saw for yourselves, the footage showed her violent, racist outburst against Kyla Spring with court documents revealing that she called her the N-word more than 200 times. So Little Miss Rich shed some crocodile tears on Monday, November 7th, via video link at a district court to plead not guilty to charges of intoxication in a public place, third-degree assault on a police officer, fourth-degree assault, and second-degree disorderly conduct. Do you know what she wasn't found guilty of? Using the N-word more than 200 times. And some people might say, well, she can say whatever she wants. She has freedom of speech. Correct. Up to a point. A hate crime isn't covered under freedom of speech because that's exactly what this was. Freedom of speech, in case a lot of people haven't noticed, has become a thing of the past altogether, even when it was, quote unquote, still in use. There were limitations on it. You can't just go around saying whatever you want with no consequences. Does she have the right to say the N-word? Absolutely. She has free will to do whatever she wants. However, what she needs to understand is that every action has a reaction. And if you choose to act like a bigot and say bigoted things, there are consequences for those decisions. The problem here is, more often than not, women like Sophia tend to be pedestalized by society and are privileged in the societal power structure. She doesn't know or understand what it means or what it feels like to be on the receiving end of her actions. She's never had to deal with this. Women like her have an inherent need to punch down towards those they deem less than. And that's what happened here. But I digress. According to the Department of Justice website, and I will leave that link in the description bar below, it says, in the simplest terms, a hate crime must include both hate and a crime. This is what they have to say about the hate part. The term hate can be misleading. When used in a hate crime law, the word hate does not mean rage, anger, or general dislike. In this context, hate means bias against people or groups of specific characteristics that are defined by law. At the federal level, hate crime laws include crimes committed on the basis of the victim's perceived or actual race, color, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability. And here's what they say about the crime part. The crime in hate crime is often a violent crime, such as assault, deletion, and we know what that word means, right? And just the fact that I'm not able to say the real word, red rum, spell it backwards, will tell you how little to no freedom of speech exists. I mean, I can say it, but there will be consequences for that. But I digress. Continuing on, the list also includes arson, vandalism, or threats to commit such crimes. It may also cover conspiring or asking another person to commit such crimes, even if the crime was never carried out. So, given the fact that this incident qualifies as a hate crime, why has she been charged with everything else but that? I'll leave you to ponder on that. In exclusive pictures obtained by DailyMail.com, the former business and management major can be seen covering her face as she gets into a car outside of their modest 3-bedroom home in Fort Mitchell. Remember, she bragged about being rich But it turns out this is where she used to live with her parents. I guess that this is considered rich in Kentucky. So the president of the University of Kentucky, Eli Capilouto, has now confirmed that Rosing was suspended on an quote-unquote interim basis as they continued their investigation. They also said that she is no longer a student, is no longer eligible to re-enroll as a student, and is permanently banned from campus. Well, this is a word salad. It's a little confusing, and I'll tell you why. Is she suspended on an interim basis, or is she permanently banned from campus? Which is it? There's wordplay going on here, and I smell something fishy. How does this work exactly? Being suspended temporarily, which is what it means when they say interim basis, and being permanently banned from campus, could also mean that there's a possibility of her graduating anyway, if she's allowed to do it remotely. She doesn't have to be on campus for that. What exactly are they saying? Who's to say that they won't make exceptions and have her do it remotely? This doesn't sound quite right to me. And if it turns out to be the case, this woman will have learned absolutely nothing from her atrocious behavior. So Little Miss Rich, or Kentucky Fried Karen, as she's been dubbed, and rightly so, appears to be an alleged bully. This behavior is nothing new. She allegedly doxed a 15-year-old girl. There's that word again. So yeah, she allegedly doxed a girl that she went to high school with. She publicly posted that this girl would send nudes and falsely claimed that she had been pregnant and gotten an abortion. Sophia, it seems, is just bad to the bone. She's entitled, spoiled, thinks the world revolves around her, and uses her quote-unquote privilege to bully other people that she feels are beneath her. The woman she went to high school with alleges that she was constantly bullied and harassed by Rosing, who doxed her by posting her number online with a message that said that this girl would send explicit images just so she could be harassed by men of all ages. She's crazy. At one point, the girl and her family threatened to involve the police and press charges. The woman, who wished to remain anonymous, told DailyMail.com that the constant harassment and bullying led to her parents removing her from Beechwood Independent High School at the end of the year. So this should not be a surprise to anyone, because Sophia was simply displaying who she is when she abused and attacked Kyla Spring. Her behavior was coming from a very authentic place. She has always been rotten to the core. That is why she did what she did to that poor girl in high school, and now Kyla Spring. She appears to have a lot of issues, and one of those being a lack of accountability. People like her, who get away with everything under the sun, seem to think that they are the center of the world and everybody else just exists in it. And I have to question how she has gotten to this point in the first place, because in a lot of these cases, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I think a lack of good parenting also plays a part. She doesn't seem to have much home training. And how much are you willing to bet that her views on race and lack of respect for others were cultivated within her home? She used the N-word so effortlessly. She was literally singing the N-word, and in my opinion, she was most likely surrounded by parents and other family members who did the same. People like her don't have a problem using it. The apple, like I said, doesn't fall far from the tree. If she carries such views on Black people, it's most likely her parents do too. You will be surprised what people say behind closed doors when no one is watching. We're living in times now where disrespecting Black women especially has turned into a trend. People have gotten famous off of disrespecting Black women. People have made a lot of money off of disrespecting Black women. Look at that toxic app called TikTok. Racially biased or racially insensitive content is left for the world to enjoy, especially where Black women and girls are being put down. But try putting out a video uplifting Black girls and women and see how quickly your video gets taken down. Not too long ago, I saw a video of an Asian man mocking little Black children over their reaction of The Little Mermaid. He had blackface on and making fun of the situation in blackface. Somehow, he thought that was funny. And it took a while for that video to be taken off of TikTok. And here's the kicker. The creator of that video was the one who took it down, not TikTok. TikTok is a racist app. The people behind it are racist. And I don't understand why people keep complaining about that when it's right in their faces. And you see, what a lot of people need to understand is that it's not just bots running the show. You have real human beings who are being paid to run the app. They see all this shit. They see all of this going on. And guess what? They don't care. So naturally, that situation didn't sit well with Black people. They did their due diligence and found out who this Asian man was. They doxed him. They tracked him down, found out that he was Indonesian, and went to Northwestern School of Law. And his sister is an actress in his home country. I mean, people love playing stupid games, but just remember, there are stupid prizes to be won. Again, this man was shitting on little Black girls, little kids, over their excitement of a Black Little Mermaid. Now, whether people agree with the concept of a little Black mermaid or not, I have a question. In which culture is it okay to mock children while being racist? But you see, this shit happens all the time online, followed by stupid, weak apologies. Do you really think we care about those stupid apologies? And the only reason most of these people apologize in the first place is not because they're remorseful. It's not because they feel bad. They only do it when it affects their bottom line. My thing is, what happened to shame? Why do people not feel shame anymore? Does that not exist? You see, this is part of the reason Black women especially are skeptical about solidarity with women of other races, because there are people of different races constantly pushing buttons, hoping to see some sort of reaction just so they could marvel at putting you in a box underneath some disgusting stereotype. The number of times Black women and girls are gaslit for entertainment is unbelievable. Sophia Rosing is a spoiled, entitled racist glitch who deserves whatever negativity comes her way. And I mean that. What she did and said was disgusting. How she behaved was atrocious. And I hope the universe sends her exactly what she deserves. And here's something I forgot to mention earlier. Her ex-classmate added, not a lot of people of color attend Beechwood, the high school that she attended. But I don't recall her saying anything outwardly, she said. Her parents are going to throw money at this to try and make it go away. The video 100% shows her true colors. Her behavior has been the same since high school. She doesn't live in a mansion by any means, but she does live in a very expensive area. Again, expensive is subjective. Her bragging about how much money she has isn't new either. She would do that at school too. Everything that happened is not new behavior. It was not a loss of judgment. She has just had her true personality exposed due to her drunken behavior. She's not a very nice person and karma comes around. I totally agree with this young lady. Karma knows everyone's address, and don't be surprised when she comes knocking. Again, I've done videos on my channel highlighting how we as Black women have allies. And while some are receptive to that notion, there are those who are still skeptical because of situations such as these. There are those who feel as though the allyship isn't genuine. Why? Because there have been too many situations such as these. There is a disconnect between Black women and white women, especially for reasons such as these. It's very difficult for a lot of Black women to believe that other races of women are capable of showing them love and support when such situations keep happening. Again, Sophia doesn't represent the mindset of all white women. But please understand why the skepticism is there in the first place. And I do have to say that Kyla Spring handled that situation extremely well. Not every Black woman or girl would have been this tactful in dealing with such a hate crime. Sophia needs to count her blessings for the fact that she didn't get pummeled for her reckless mouth. It doesn't matter that she was drunk. It doesn't matter that she's only 22. That's no excuse. She's a big girl. She should know better. The truth of the matter is, she's a bigot. She said those things to her because that's how she really feels. She does have a disdain for Black women and has a superiority complex. I'll tell you who she reminds me of. Courtney Clenny. Remember Courtney? The OnlyFans woman who called her Nigerian boyfriend the N-word and then sent him off to the pits of hell after slicing and dicing him? No sympathy there, by the way. He was also another one of these self-hating Black men who said a lot of shit about Black women while dating outside of his race. The so-called fit, friendly, and feminine woman of his dreams turned his lights off permanently. And now he's worm food for Mother Earth. Keep playing. There are a lot of people who have a disdain for Black women, and they don't know why. My message to those people is the day that you figure out the real reason for your hatred is the day that you will understand who we are. And I'm saying this from a spiritual point of view. If you can truly decipher your hatred, it'll all become very clear. And I'll leave it at that. As I was saying, Sophia got off lightly, running her mouth the way that she did, because I can tell you this, everybody hasn't been so lucky. Take a look.
I'm not here. My husband is right there with his black ass.
I'm 20
okay, I don't give
years.
a fuck. I don't
All
give
I
a
said
fuck,
was
period.
excuse me.
The fuck? Watch your mouth. Watch your fucking mouth.
I said excuse me.
Okay, I said excuse me and you got hella room with me. You got hella room with me. All I give a fuck past you.
That's your
All I give
damn
a fuck past you. You start talking about your black husband. I don't give a fuck about your black husband. Just because you suck black dick don't mean you're not a racist. You just suck all of it. You can call me a nigga all you want to. I'm gonna beat your motherfucking ass in this store, bitch. Call me a nigga again. Call me a nigga again. Call me a nigga again. Say the word nigga, bitch. I'm the right one. Try it. That's what the fuck I thought.
I said
Watch your fucking mouth.
excuse me.
The wrong nigga. I'm the wrong nigga. I'll beat your ass in this motherfucking store. I'm gonna beat your ass. Say nigga again.
Nigga.
You didn't hear what the fuck I just said, bitch? You didn't hear what the fuck I just said, bitch? Bitch, that's who I'm the right. Let me go. Let me go. You better let me go. I'm gonna hit your ass again. You better let me go. You better let me go, bitch.
Hey, she's down.
Let
She's
me
down.
go.
I'm sorry to get in the middle, but she's down.
Let me go. 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 Keep calling me a nigger and let me go. The fuck? Weird ass bitch.
I said excuse me.
I tell me this bitch all the time. Bitch, I'm the right one. Call 911 and tell them.
Like I've said before, I don't advocate for violence, But if you're going to fix your mouth to say something like that, you better stand on 10 and back it up. If I just happen to be around a situation like this, don't think that you, the aggressor, are getting any help from me. I'll go about my business. If you behave in certain ways and say uncouth things about other people, be prepared for what's to come. I think a lot of people have gotten used to black males just giving out these free passes, right? These free N-word passes to bigots and telling these people that, oh, no, it's okay. You can use it because we hang out together. Because again, a lot of these black males have no pride. They have no self-respect and they have no shame. They have made it okay for these people to use that racial slur. My advice to you is do it at your own peril, because not every black person is cut from the same cloth of degeneracy. So if you're going around talking that talk, you better walk that walk and stand on 10 when shit pops off. If you get dropped, you have no one else to blame but yourself. This is 2022. Damn near 2023, and y'all are out here pretending to be ignorant and acting as though you don't understand what the N-word means? Do you really expect us all to believe that? Where is the respect? The video you just saw is from 2 years ago. I saw another video from 3 years ago where a white woman in North Carolina, well, surprise, surprise, had an argument with 2 black women at a bonefish grill. Plantation Karen was very brazen, very outspoken, and she didn't give a shit. Nancy Goodman is her name. She called a black customer the N-word because she felt the woman and her friend were too loud in her opinion. She had gone through the trouble of walking all the way to their table just to let them know what she thought about them. One of the black women says to her, "Let me show you my money. It's just as green as yours." And her response to that was, "Wow, you're so stupid, N-word." Hard R, by the way. And then she walks off. She was being recorded the whole time, but she didn't care. WRAL TV found Bonefish Karen at her home in an effort to know more about the situation. And her response to the incident was that, "And feel free to bring out the violins." She said she was a 71-year-old woman who suffered from anxiety, and allegedly that anxiety pushed her to act as she did. She said that she was not going to apologize to those 2 women for calling them the N-word because they kept pushing at it. And when asked about her use of the N-word, she said,
"I'm not going to say I'm sorry to them because they kept pushing at it." So, and that's all I'd really like to say.
What about your use of the N-word?
I used that word because they forced me into it.
Do you see how that's incredibly offensive?
Yes, I do. That's why I said it. I would say it again to them.
She says she would use that word again to you all.
Wow. That's sad.
Shonda Stewart is the one who took the cell phone video. Her friend, Lakeisha Shaw, is the one who was called the racial slur.
I don't care how you feel like we should have been acting. If I was standing on the table with 3 heads in a purple jumpsuit, nothing justified you to come to my table and call me a stupid.
Goodman says she regrets not asking management to tell the women to be quiet, but she made one thing clear.
So you're not sorry about saying the N-word?
No.
Again, no surprise there at all. There's no fool like an old fool. You're supposed to be getting wiser as you get older, but it doesn't seem to be the case with some of these people. I can see Sophia Rosing ending up exactly like this woman. Racist, smug, entitled, rude, disrespectful, and the list goes on. Now, I can appreciate the fact that she didn't apologize for using the N-word the way that she did. It was meant to hurt. It was meant to disrespect. It was meant to dehumanize. And she succeeded in doing all of those things. May the universe gift her all that she deserves. Furthermore, it wouldn't have been authentic to her character had she apologized. She displayed the rotten parts of who she truly is and stood in her conviction. Bravo to her. Her audacity is remarkable, I'll tell you that. And the fact that she tried to paint herself as a victim for having such a nasty character is very telling. Look, if these women really were as loud as she said they were, all she had to do was speak to management to politely ask the women to bring it down a notch. I'm sure they wouldn't have minded, depending on delivery. Like one of them said, their money was just as green as hers. But people like her always let their superiority complex take over. And if things were really up to them, and I'm talking about people with her mindset, they would vote for segregation all over again. Plantation Karen, Bonefish Karen, whatever you want to call her, would like to see a black woman picking her cotton. No black woman would ever gain her respect because she doesn't believe we're equal. She showed who she is and didn't give a shit about anybody's opinion. Very brazen. Her audacity is certainly remarkable. Now, let's circle back to Sophia Rosing and Kyla Spring. So, there were a lot of people online who were not very happy with the way Kyla handled the situation. They said that she was too passive. Here's my opinion on why I believe she reacted the way that she did. She's a young black woman who understands the benefits of self-censorship. Most black women do it all the time without giving it a second thought because we understand how the world works. There's no fairness when it comes to these types of situations because camera or no camera, footage or no footage, Kyla knew that she would get the short end of the stick either way. You have a 22-year-old drunk who happens to be white abusing a black woman unprovoked. Had she raised her hand in any way to give her what she deserved, the headlines would be different. This story would be spun to make it seem as though Kyla was the aggressor. The media wouldn't have seen the situation from Kyla's point of view. None of them would have looked at this as an act of self-defense. They would have seen this as an aggressive, angry black woman attacking this delicate blonde, bottle blonde, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, they would have seen this as Kyla attacking this delicate blonde who didn't mean what she said because, after all, she was under the influence. They would have tried to paint her as a loving young lady who comes from this respectable family who did what she did because she was under stress and that she loves all people. And one of her best friends in kindergarten was a black girl. So she has no bias towards black people. You know, the whole token excuse. I'm not racist. I have a black friend. They would have spun it exactly in that direction, making Kyla look like a bully while ignoring what this not so delicate flower had said to her. Fortunately for Kyla, there were other people there. Witnesses that would corroborate Kyla's story, but more importantly, it was recorded and showed Kyla not being aggressive towards Sophia. So for all those who are upset at this young woman's inability to pummel Miss Loudmouth to the ground, please take a step back and understand Kyla's position. She exercised logic and self-censorship in preserving her own future. Black women and girls are constantly being traumatized by other people because we're not afforded the same humanity as everyone else. We're not given the permission to show human emotion because we're not looked upon as delicate enough to qualify for such privileges. Remember, we're the loud ghetto monsters who can never act right because of our manly tendencies and aggression. they really do think that about Black women. That's not an opinion, that's a fact.
What do you have to say about the language that you used toward the UK students? Is that okay? You Google the University of Kentucky and your name shows up with these videos. What do you have to say to the students that you used racial slurs towards? Are you apologetic? Do you have anything to say at all? Okay, step down.
We're supposed to be compliant, strong enough to take it on the chin, like men, etc. If Kyla had reacted in a way that would be looked upon as unacceptable, she would have been dubbed masculine and aggressive for going against the most powerful woman in this country by way of dominance. All I can say to Black women is know your cards and understand how to play them. Don't allow others to read your poker face and make it easy for them to take you down. Is any of this fair? Absolutely not. She got off with a slap on the wrist because, well, she can. It's unfortunate that you as a Black woman have to always be on your toes, strategizing your own survival while others get away with disgusting behavior. And I'm not saying all Black women act accordingly. On the contrary, we have our own issues too. However, this isn't about the degenerate behavior of Black women. And the reason I'm mentioning this at all is because there's always some idiot in the comment section saying, well, Black women aren't perfect either. Nobody said we were. We know. So try not to break your finger on that keyboard. Calm down. But I digress. Such, unfortunately, is the world we live in. We just have to learn to move smartly. I guess one good thing that came out of this is that she was fired by Dillard's for her outburst. She was part of the campus collective program with them, and their spokesperson put out a statement saying, Dillard's does not condone this behavior. Her relationship with Dillard's has been terminated immediately. Her attorney, Fred Peters, told DailyMail.com that Sophia Rosing would be withdrawing from school and will be getting treatment for her issues, though he wouldn't confirm if those issues were alcohol related. Peters said that Rosing was a very, very embarrassed and humiliated young lady and would also be undertaking racial sensitivity training. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I have such low tolerance for bullshit. What a load of shit! What a load of shit! What a load of shit. There is no cure for racism. What a joke. She's 22. It's too late. You can't force someone to all of a sudden start respecting a group of people that she believes to be beneath her. I mean, she did tell Kyla to do her chores. She is who she is. She showed her ass, and that's all there is to it. She needs to look forward to a future of misery, living the fun life of bigotry like Nancy Goodman, because they are two sides of the same coin.
My name is Kyla Spring. My name is Kyla Spring. Say your name. I'm a freshman here at the University of Kentucky. This is my first semester. In the wee hours of Sunday morning, I was physically, verbally, and racially assaulted by Jane Doe, aka Sophia Rosing, a 22-year-old student here at the University of Kentucky. I was physically, verbally, and racially assaulted by Jane Doe, aka Sophia Rosing, a 22-year-old student here at the University of Kentucky. Since then, I have taken to social media to spread awareness, and I have grasped the attention of the nation and the world. I would first like to say thank you to my friend Kansas, who is also shown in the video, for assisting me with this situation. You didn't have to intervene, and I continue to stand with you in these trying times. Secondly, I would like to thank my parents and my family back in Memphis for being a constant support system for me through all of the chaos. Lastly, thank you to everyone who has reached out to me through any social media platforms. You are the reason my story is being heard. It is our story. This is a recurring issue in and across American school systems, no matter what age. I am deeply saddened by the events that took place, but I am most grateful for justice that is to come. And to Ms. Rosing, you will not break my spirit.
Fucking liberties. So before I conclude this video, I just want to let you know that the next video will be tackling race again. Don't worry, it'll be nothing like this. We will be discussing a little experience that I recently had. A white gentleman came to my channel to basically say that divestors were worshiping white men. We had a back and forth in the comment section, and the only reason I engaged with him was because he seemed to have a huge misunderstanding of divestors. Now, I'm talking about true divestors here. In his opinion, he felt that divestors were out there basically fetishizing white men, pedestalizing them, and using them for money. At first, I thought he was trolling, right? Until I went to his channel. He was being serious. For more on that discussion, please join me in the next upload. We have much to talk about. On that note, what are your thoughts on what's been discussed here today? Please leave your thoughts and comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, ladies, don't allow irrelevant, miserable people to steal your shine. Realize this: not everyone likes you. Not everyone will see the value in who you are. It doesn't matter how these people feel or what they think of you. There's only one opinion that matters when it comes to you and how you live your life, and that's yours. What you think of yourself matters more than what anybody else has to say. Plantation Karen and Kentucky Fried Karen come a dime a dozen. Their aim is to disrespect, dehumanize, gaslight, and assert non-existent authority over you. Pay no attention to low vibrational individuals. Most of them are lost, miserable, unhinged, and need to deal with their own issues. Continue to love and elevate yourselves. And if people have an issue with you, that's their problem, not yours. Thank you so much for watching. This is Divested Diamonds, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Diamonds.